on, everyone? We got some huge breaking news in regards to Kevin Durant and the Brooklyn Nets. The following statement has been released by General Manager Sean Marks. Steve Nash and I, together with Joe Tsai and Clara Wu Tsai, met with Kevin Durant and Rich Kleiman in Los Angeles yesterday. We have agreed to move forward with our partnership. We are focusing on basketball with one collective goal in mind: build a lasting franchise to bring a championship to Brooklyn. So this is from General Manager Sean Marks in regards to Kevin Durant. I mean, for the last few months, Kevin Durant being traded has been a huge talking point. Was it the Suns? Was it Miami, Boston, Philly? What was going to happen? And ultimately, the Nets have been persistent in trying to keep Kevin Durant around with the Nets. They believe that they have a legit championship contender in this league. They got Ben Simmons, who would be a perfect fit and complement next to Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, plus all of the shooting they got. They got TJ Warren. They really have a solid roster. But Kevin Durant, he wanted traded, and then he played hardball, and he said, I want Steve Nash and Sean Marks fired. Well, it looks like all of them were able to sit down, talk it out, work it out. Now, is this something that could be picked back up, say, come the trade deadline? Because at the trade deadline, teams like Phoenix can once again get into the conversation, stuff like that. So who knows if this is going to be a lasting thing or if it's just kind of a Band-Aid over the wound, so to speak. Like this needs full on, like just amputate, cut it, and move on. But they're like, nah, here, just put on this, butterfly rainbow Band-Aid and everything's fine. Everything's all right. Or it's like that meme where like everything's on fire and there's like the dog sitting there in the chair and then it's like, yay, everything's cool. Like that's what this kind of feels like. So I'm curious to see how will this be re-explored in the future. Now, winning solves everything. If everyone gives 100%, everyone buys in, Kevin Durant and them, they're able to win a championship. That solves a lot, right? In hindsight, all of this stuff will be completely irrelevant if the Brooklyn Nets win a championship. Problem is, can they and will they? And if things start going even slightly bad, or there's that stretch that all teams have, even the best teams in history have, where it's just like you have this, 8-game skid or something that's just rough. Like no matter what, every little small detail, every little, even rumored dispute, anything is going to be just heavily amplified. And it's going to be crazy. It's going to be everything's going to be under a microscope this upcoming season with Kevin Durant and the Brooklyn Nets. But another thing that many people, I'm sure, are going to ask, well, Kyrie, what's going on with Kyrie? Well, as you saw in that statement, we don't know. There still has been no official statement from the Nets in regards to Kyrie Irving. And this is what I've been talking about, right? I've been talking about Kyrie, and I said, the Nets could end this conversation very quickly. Very quickly, this whole thing could be over. Release a statement from you saying we're not trading these players. And they hadn't up until now. But still, nothing on the Kyrie front. All we've gotten is the Kevin Durant thing. The Lakers have been in the conversation, have upped it to 2 first-round picks. Maybe there's something still there on to why they haven't mentioned Kyrie Irving. They also could have just thrown Kyrie Irving into the Kevin Durant thing and just said, hey, after speaking with Kevin Durant, we have sat down and, worked it out, and we are moving forward with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. But no, we didn't get that. We haven't gotten any word in regards to Kyrie. Now, I do think the likelihood of Kyrie staying with the Nets just shot up tremendously, and I think it is a very real possibility that Kyrie is staying with the Nets now, but it depends on what the conversation was. There was reports a while ago that Kyrie Irving, that Kevin Durant didn't want Kyrie Irving in Brooklyn with him. If that's true, then Kyrie could still be shipped out. If it's a temporary Band-Aid thing, then maybe they are still going to explore Kyrie trades because they told Kevin Durant, like, hey, we still need to explore Kyrie trades unless you're going to give us a long-term commitment. You're going to honor your 4 years. Maybe it's just like, hey, we don't have any real trades right now. There's nothing that's worth trading you for. We can re-explore this at the trade deadline. Like that could have been the compromise. We don't have anything now, but maybe we could get something before February. And maybe Kevin Durant said, okay, fine, I'll give you till then, and then I need you to trade me, or, next offseason or something. And they're right back at this again. So does Brooklyn look at it as like, hey, we should get something for Kyrie now, because if we have to trade KD at the trade deadline, or we're in this position all over again next season, Kyrie's going to walk and we get nothing for Kyrie, and now we're hitting a rebuild. So I think either two things happen. Either they have one shot to win an NBA championship, or they still are going to trade Kyrie because they know Kevin Durant is going to end up being dealt eventually. But I think when it comes to these two, it would make sense to keep them. I mean, they have an absolute championship contender. They really do. And now that you have KD bought in, if he can actually buy in from the playing standpoint and actually give 100% and go out there and play, then they are in a great position, right? They are in a legit championship contender position. And even Vegas, their odds went to plus 750, which isn't the favorite still, because there's no announcement for Kyrie Irving. That's still a big thing. Like, what is going to happen with Kyrie? No official report, no official statement with Kyrie Irving. But nonetheless, I do think, like, if these two run it back, you have Kevin Durant running it back. You've played plenty without Kyrie Irving. So even if Kyrie doesn't stay, like, let's say Kyrie's like, I still want out, or Kevin Durant says, hey, I want to trade Kyrie. I'm not saying they will. Like I said, I think the percentages just shot up tremendously in the Nets' favor for keeping Kyrie. But keep in mind, Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid were a legit contender, right? Year in and year out. What is Kevin Durant and Ben Simmons? Plus, if they can go and get pieces for Kyrie Irving rather than the draft picks, then maybe you could add some more depth. They still have guys like TJ Warren, who was a 20-point-a-game scorer. In the bubble, TJ Warren had like a 50-point game. The dude was killing it in the bubble, averaging like 30 points. So he could be that guy for, Kyrie, or it could be like a collective team effort with Kyrie Irving. The possibilities are there. But the likelihood of these two staying are huge. It's exponential now, especially with Kevin Durant. But still, everyone's still waiting on Kyrie Irving. Even Vegas and the bookmakers, which the bookmakers are very rarely ever wrong. So they're still just being cautious, being patient, because we don't know what's going to happen with Kyrie Irving. I do imagine we will know one way or another. I would imagine that Sean Marks is going to release some statement in regards to Kyrie. Is he really going to just kind of leave that floating in the air? Because that's a legitimate question. Okay, cool. You guys got Kevin Durant, but what about Kyrie Irving? So I think that that's something we need to keep in mind as well. But all in all, again, these three are terrifying. I mean, seriously, you got Ben Simmons, who is, an all-NBA defender, excellent ball handler, distributor, rebounder. He's a guy that can be put in the dunker spot. He doesn't really like to shoot. He doesn't really know how to shoot. And luckily, he's on a team that's all they have is shooting, right? I mean, Kyrie, KD, you got Seth Curry, Patty Mills. You got nothing but shooters. So Ben Simmons on this team with all these shooters is a great position to be in. I mean, this is perfect. If you're Brooklyn, they have the pieces, they have the components. All they need is just, Kyrie Irving. Now, again, I know somebody say, oh, well, they made the report. Shams made the report that Kyrie is staying. That's not the same thing as an official announcement. They made an official announcement about Kyrie Irving over these KD trades. Like, we heard reports over and over, reports that Kevin Durant wasn't going to training camp from Shams. Like, none of these reporters, none of these media people knew what was going to happen. Like the last Shams report was yesterday, and the entire thing where the Kyrie thing came out of was all a Kevin Durant report. And guess what? He was wrong because they actually met when he made that report. So, who was his inside source? So that's what I'm saying. So we don't know what's going to happen with Kyrie Irving. Now, again, huge likelihood he stays with the Nets. I don't think the Brooklyn Nets will trade him, but I think it depends on what the Kevin Durant conversation went like. But anyway, those are my thoughts and opinions. And as always, I pass the question on to you. Let me know yours down in the comment section below. One last little shameless plug is I did start As It Stands Lakers. It is a channel just like this, dedicated to only the Lakers, because the Lakers are my favorite team. And on this channel, As It Stands, I talk about all teams, all sports, stuff like that. We have football season coming up, so I'm definitely looking forward to that as well. And I just wanted to make a dedicated channel to the Lakers to give the ins and outs. Now, all the big stuff, all the big news and stuff, I will still post here on this channel. But if you want all the ins and outs and just rumors and theories and just discussions just strictly on the Lakers, link down in the description or in the comment section. Go check out the channel, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.